The game's changed now. We're not in that world anymore.
But it's just been too fast, too soon. Yeah.
Maybe too quickly.
Hello. We've had a little hiatus. We went away to Dubai to do some really exciting projects out there. So we're back now.
Yeah.
And we are on fire. We've got so much good content for you over the next few months. And this particular episode, what are we going to talk about, Adam?
We talk about artist longevity and how you want to think about the long term, even in this world of 15-second clips on TikTok. I think we need to think about the long term.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think artists, obviously you write the music, you think that's the hardest part. It's probably the easiest part, unfortunately, when it comes to releasing. We would say the creative side is 20%, the marketing side is 80%.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about what that actually means, Adam?
Yeah, I think we live in this dichotomy right now of really short attention span stuff like TikTok, where you've got to grab the moment and you want to go viral, and then you've got the long term, which is building your brand as an artist.
Yeah.
Context and story and longevity.
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes artists come into a clash with those two things. Do I want to go viral on TikTok? No, I need to build a brand. Do I want to go back? So I think it's both. That's the main thing. So you want to be in the conversation on TikTok because there's more eyeballs on there than YouTube right now.
Yeah.
So yes, I think thinking about short term, but the long term as well is really important. And just to touch on streaming, for example, we've seen a few issues on Spotify recently where tracks are being taken down because they've only been promoted over a very short time. So there's a sudden surge of streams drop, and then the track gets flagged by Spotify's, and I'll have to be honest, say it, very crude detection software. And they're happy to take it down because they don't have to pay the royalties. So as an artist, you're really mindful of this, and really the way to combat this is to grow your track over the long term, grow the streams gradually, think about it in terms of 6 month, 12 month, 2-year type windows rather than this 4-6 week quick push. Because the game's changed now. We're not in that world anymore. Yeah,
you have to read the sort of vibe of the industry and what's actually happening, the patterns and the trends. And we've heard about it time and time again, artists being flagged for artificial streaming, and they've done nothing of the kind. All they've done is invested in some social ad packages and stuff like that. It's completely legitimate, but it's just been too fast, too soon.
Too much, too soon. Maybe too quickly. And things like there's playlist companies and little agencies that want to push you for a few weeks, but really think about it over the long term. Like, what's your 6-month plan? What's your 12-month plan? As you just said, 80% of your project is now marketing. Really, that's how are you going to break through and make a name for yourself in this world. And it can be done. When you think about like viral artists on TikTok, can you think of any? Or do you think of the artists like Billie Eilish or Coldplay or Ed Sheeran, whatever? They've built up a legacy over the long period of time.
And they've taken a long time to market the song. Like, Billie Eilish, Birds of a Feather was most streamed song on Spotify in 2024. But she released that song sort of, was it mid to, third quarter of 2024? But it's just been promoted over and over and over and over again. And I remember when I first heard it, I was like, I'm not into this. And then by the 10th listen, I was like, I love it. Because it was being used in lots of kind of opportunities and ways to promote itself to me, and eventually just got into my psyche to the point where I was like, this song is actually amazing. And that's exactly how you need to behave as the artist as well. Like, don't just play the song once, because, chances are people might not like it and go, it's not my vibe. You need to keep kind of marketing it to them to the point they're like, love this song.
Yeah, exactly. It might be the 15th time they've heard it, and then suddenly, they join the dots. They've seen it on an ad, or they've seen it in played somewhere else. Yeah. And they join the dots in their head, and they're like, I love this song.
Yeah.
I've seen this happen so many times. Artists can put out a song, get deflated when it doesn't work the first time, and then give up and feel they need to write another one.
Yeah.
I think the game is now all about the long term, like I said, and building that traction and even if you're friends to hear it 14, 15 times, actually it'll sink in, because we live in this age of really short, quick dopamine hits on TikTok and Instagram. So how are you going to counter that? with something more enduring and long lasting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what we're essentially saying is you need to invest in your project on a very long-term basis. So it might be that you've only written 3 tracks in the last year, or maybe 2 years. That's fine, and you maybe released all of them. They've already, you've put them out there in the ether, but actually they haven't had many eyeballs and you haven't had many plays. You can actually go back to those tracks and re-release them. You can go back to the tracks and just keep promoting them. We work with artists that had a track out 8 months ago that maybe had under 1,000 streams, and we're reviving the life back into them.
It can happen with tracks from 8 years ago. If it got picked up on the algorithms back then, say 2017 or something like that, suddenly now you can get onto the algorithms again because you've got that digital footprint. And so again, don't give up on your old stuff. It's still there. Just keep building slowly, and you will start to make a name for yourself eventually.
Yeah.
But also be a part of the conversation on TikTok. Take out little sections of your song, or little viral moments, or little funny bits that you've had with your band, or in the studio, or whatever it is, and post them, because you want to be part of that conversation. It's not the conversation, but it's part of your promo plan, right?
Absolutely. And look, and if you don't like doing that, which I totally appreciate, most people, like I go to a lot of panel events and speak on the subject of social media and the importance of it as a musician and for release strategies. And if you do not like it, get an agency to do it for you. Okay, there are agencies out there like us. We've just launched a new service, social media management service, which is amazing, where we will actually take that strain off you. It's very minimal what we charge. I think packages start at $250 a month, £250 a month. I mean, most people spend that on booze in a month. So maybe half the booze spend and put the rest towards the social media campaign or whatever. And then we'll take the hassle off and just see where it lands and what it actually does for you, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Get the experts, get the agency to create the actual content. Creation is the hardest bit, but then also the scheduling, the posting, the timing of the posting, the wording. It makes me quite nervous doing it myself sometimes as well.
Yeah.
So let the experts do it.
Yeah, definitely. And, you can use concepts. You can hack the system using concepts that are already working, or you could be original. I think generally being original is the better strategy. And doing what you love and sticking to that, and not trying to get too suckered in by what everyone else is doing. I think that's generally the better strategy, because again, it's the long term. In 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, all of it will make sense because you stay true to who you are as an artist.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't a catalogue of attempts at you trying to hack the system. And so that's the main message I would put across for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think social media is probably the biggest marketing tool we've got now. If let's face it, it's probably the single most important marketing element to the promotion of the track, I would say.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, there are loads of other areas and ways to do marketing of your track, but it's where everybody is at. We're all victims of being on Instagram and cruising TikTok and being on YouTube. It's very rare that anyone's off, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, really. 3 tips.
So, number 1, think about who you are as an artist. Define your brand. What are the 3 words you use to describe you as an artist and what you stand for?
Like brand pillars.
Brand pillars.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 2, think about the long term. 6 months, 12 months, 2 years.
Yeah.
What are your goals for the long term? And then create a map, a roadmap together.
Think about the long term. You can actually promote 3 songs across a whole year if you wanted to. You don't need to have 12 songs. We're not talking a song a month. We're talking about literally promoting one track maybe over 3 months. Slow and steady.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tip number 3, engage with your community. Make sure you're building an actual community and not just promoting into the abyss. Have conversations with your fans, with your team, and actually focus on nurturing your people.